I'm Glenn Young, Amazon's fitness magazine celebrating the female physique. And as you can see, to my left and to my right, I got the pillars of women's bodybuilding. To my left, your right, Helle Trevino. And to my right, your left, Gina Cavaliero. And Miss Irene Anderson. Thank y'all so much for sitting down.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
So let's talk a little bit. What were your thoughts on the Olympics?
I think the quality was amazing. Like, really, we saw top contenders battling it out. I would like to see more women at the Olympia. We had 10 this year, but they've been narrowing it down because I know the Olympia and Winter Strength want to see really the top of the top at the Olympia. So there was some changes being made, like the point system was being taken away, but not just in women's bodybuilding, but over the whole line. So they want to make it a little bit more exclusive. I would like to see more in terms of like 10. I would see more like going towards 15 women there. But for those that were there, man, they delivered a show.
They did.
Top conditioning. It was super interesting to see at the top, like, you know, who was gonna take it, who had the edge.
And up until the final point, I guess you could have said that Angela Yo had a chance when going from riding the Phoenix 4 weeks ago, and I don't know how much the body could change in 4 weeks, but it was still close.
Yeah, it was close, but I think Andrea brought her best shape.
Everybody talks about this is the best she ever looked.
Yes, absolutely. So that made the difference for her to stay as a champion. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it was a great show. Talent and quality was some of the best we've seen. Like Helle said, I'd like to see that number a little bit higher. 15. If you're an athlete at Olympia and you want to say that you were top 10, that should be an earned position.
Yeah.
Not solely because you were one of 10 athletes that were in it.
Right.
So, you know, it would be great to see. We had, I think, 20 last year. That 15's kind of that sweet spot at least.
And the thing about it, they had the point system, get rid of the point system, but then you lost a number of shows. The Savannah Pro, the Indy Pro, and a few others. And so now all of a sudden, you know, women's bodybuilding is like hemorrhaging.
I just think the point system was really good to have. It motivates the girl to do more shows.
Right.
Because if you see, like, you do a show and you can see, I won't win the second or the third show I will do, but I could place in top 5 and get points.
Right.
That motivates me to go to the next show and to the next show. If you see, I can't win. Why should I try and try? You know. So I think they should bring that point system back. Yeah, absolutely.
I think so too, especially with divisions like women's bodybuilding, fitness, that doesn't have the amount of shows that say bikini and then physique has. You know, so we bring that point system back. We're not talking about a huge number of athletes that are qualified by virtue of the point system, but we'll get at least a few more, right? And like Irene said, it definitely gives incentive for more ladies to show up and do more shows. And that's one of the things that we're struggling with. We're not seeing huge numbers at the shows the last couple of years. Oddly enough, in 2020, with COVID, was the last year we saw great numbers. You know, 21 and 22. Certainly this year it's been less. But I think there's a huge amount of incentive to be able to do multiple shows and qualify. You know, so I think it'd be great to see that brought back. My understanding that wheelchair division does have points.
Right. And that's the only one, but now it's top 3 for everybody.
Right.
But that going on with it, what would be the fix? If you can't get the point system back, and there's not going to be more shows, what's the answer to get more?
Yeah, well,
more women at the women's bodybuilding at the
the problem as I see it is, like, you know, see the divisions, like how many people were competing at the Olympia in the different divisions. I think in bikini there was over 40, and also in the men's bodybuilding, I think there was only under 20. So it's just a lot of, they have a lot of shows. So of course you can say all the winners go because there's more shows. So as the shows diminish for women's bodybuilding, there would be less and less chance to qualify, of course. I do see, in terms of like shows, I think it fluctuates a little bit. So this year we actually had 3 shows less, but next year there's 2 new coming that hasn't been around. So I think maybe it's a little bit of a fluctuation, but we still have a good amount of shows, but not enough like looking at that we could present a good number at the Olympia. So the quick fix, I mean, could maybe be if there's not enough shows to say 1 and 2 goes, or that
You would add large.
just more and more people, like we had top 5 before the qualified for the Olympia for next year, to go back to that instead of just top 3. That would be
It was such a great, all at one time was a boom, but then I don't think anyone expected when the points got taken that the shows would drop. So that was just par for the course. When you look at it now, and that's a possibility, you still want the best of the best on the stage. And we really had a good top 10. They won the show, they got in. But there were so many that you could have said should have been more deserving that was on the outside looking in. And then the safety part. Now you got people chasing shows because there were less shows, so now they got to go after every show. The next thing I want to ask is, when you look at all this, taking into consideration, if you were president for the day, what is the state of women's bodybuilding? What would you recommend?
I definitely think we came a long way from women's bodybuilding almost dying there in 2014 when it got shut down. That was the last Olympia. I was around at that time, and it was like we were all devastated, didn't really know what to do. A lot of the women bodybuilders, they went to physique because with no Olympia, like, why should you do a qualifier, you know? So the sport really just kind of like evaporated almost, you know, because everybody went into different directions. Some retired, some went to physique, and some just said, like myself, I was like, well, I'm a bodybuilder at heart, so I'm just not going to compete. I'm just going to train for myself, you know. So to gather all that back together was a huge accomplishment for Jake Wood at Losing Strength. They really managed to get the women together to create a new show, The Rise of Phoenix, and he really got the numbers up. So I think it's going pretty well for women's bodybuilding. I think there's a lot more room for growth. We are on our way, but there's still a lot that needs to be done also in terms of like promotion. Like yourself, we're extremely proud of you that you started this magazine and that you're really doing the interviews and you're really spreading the word and promoting women's bodybuilding, because that's exactly what we need. We need to get more of the young people out there into women's bodybuilding and get the women to see that this is an awesome sport. You can be a strong, empowered woman and do some cool competitions.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. Definitely trying to push it. And we can see where it ends up with Amazon Fitness magazine. We're going into 2024. Gina?
Yeah, so, I mean, I think we definitely have come a long way. Since 2014, when they got it, particularly women's strength, we wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for them. You know, and I think, you know, we can't just rely on Jake Wood, women's strength promoters, to promote the sport. I think it really falls back to the athletes as well. You know, it's awesome that we have representatives and people that support us like you and Fitness Magazine. But as athletes, we need to be out there promoting the sport too. Being good representatives, being a good face for bodybuilding. There's some people that, you know, athletes and reps, they're hesitant, you know, they don't want to be that big, you know, but that's kind of the natural progression of the right? We train, we grow, and there's probably so many women's physique athletes that are right here at the threshold that would step up into women's bodybuilding. So I think we need to, encourage them to want to come on up, and that's probably the biggest place that we could have to get more athletes from. We're not seeing a lot of women's bodybuilders in the NPC at the pro qualifiers. Even so much so in Europe that they're not even getting a pro card award. They're not needing a 5-athlete minimum. Again, I think there's just responsibility that falls back on everybody, athletes, to help promote, to be at the shows, even if you're not competing, but just be a presence, to support the sport, support the other girls. The more we all do collectively, it is going to help.
Irene?
Yeah, I agree with Gina there. I think we need to look at ourselves and help each other promote the sport. And we could do like events ourselves. I think we have a very close relationships to many of the athletes. So start to plan a bit more. See, are you going to that show? Are you going there? Can you do something? Put something at that show? Look up together and try to promote us more by ourselves, not only rely to others doing it.
I guess we'll have to wait till the new schedule comes out, and we'll go from there. But just got to keep it going.
Yeah.
Last question for each of you, and I'll let you get out of it. What are your next year plans in 2024? Will we see Helle Trevino on stage?
Yes, you
All right.
will see me back on stage. I needed a year off to get fresh again. I had some injuries. I had to was on the stage last year because I'm just that stubborn. So I didn't have much time to prepare last year because surgery, rehab, etc. The goal was different last year. Last year it was about to prove to myself that I could do it, that I wasn't weak, that I wasn't. I just needed to be an athlete. When you're a top athlete and you get a serious injury, the fear is always there. Like, am I gonna make it back? And that was my fear, and it was a really like ingrained fear. Like, is this a career-ending injury? Am I gonna make it back? And I was like, I'm gonna make it back. It's like whatever it takes. And I made it back, and I was third. And it was a huge accomplishment for me, and just a confidence that I gained out of that. But this year the goal was different. So this year the goal is to come back and be the best Helle Trevino that the world ever saw.
Now at this point, it is what it is. You have to qualify, or they could give you an ad-hoc bid. But have you thought along those lines? You may have to do.
Those plans haven't been made. I will do the Rising Phoenix and Olympia. If I'm going to do any other show, that's still not decided.
Well, I'm praying it works out for you.
Thank you.
I don't want to poke the bear, but I'll do your shot.
Well, I ain't scared of nobody, Everybody can be beat.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring my best. I've worked very hard this past year to make improvements, and I still have a whole year.
That's true.
So, what they're going to see is going to be the best version, the best physique they ever saw have on the stage of the Olympia.
Gina, what are your plans?
Well, I'm now 2 years into being off. Had surgery last year as well, and we had intention to beginning this year. My health said otherwise. But have that straightened out, so definitely looking to go to early in the year.
How early?
I'll go April. very early actually.
April, okay.
April, beginning of the season. So
Got a show in mind? Maybe that show out there in Arizona or
oh
something?
yeah, there might be a show out there in Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah. So definitely looking forward to getting back on stage. It seems like forever. So it's always been funny. I've become characteristically known for my smile on stage. I'm like, could you remember from my biceps or something? But yeah, it's my accolades. I grin ear to ear.
Irene.
Yes. I'll be back.
Next year.
Next year.
2024.
Yes. And I also needed 1 year off. I did my first show 2003, and I have been on stage more or less every year except 3. This is the third year in 20 years I haven't competed. So yeah, last year's prep was really hard. I thought I was qualified for the Olympia because it was top 5 that qualified to the next Olympia. And the interview after the show, they congratulations, you qualified for Olympia next year. So I went home and went off season. And then in April, I noticed that I was on the point list and I wasn't qualified anymore. That they changed the rules to top 3. So suddenly I wasn't qualified. So I was like behind chasing my Olympia spot for like 3 shows. I wasn't satisfied with my shape. I was stressed out. My body looked tired at the Olympia finally, so I think I take a year off. But I will be
Fresh. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'll be back.
Can you name a show or a win?
Fresh.
Or you want to keep it?
No, I will probably do some of the other shows.
Okay. Well, we'll see what the schedule comes out. And we'll go from there. I cannot thank you, ladies, for sitting down and talking to me. Very humbling.
Thank you very much for all you do.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. You hug it out.
It's up a lot.
I'm Glenn Young for Amazon's Fitness Magazine, celebrating the female physique. AmazonFitMag.com. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share this video. And of course, go to the website, because when you do more, I can do more for these ladies. It was a great Olympia, great experience for me. And now let's do what we can to ensure that we have these ladies back. We got to take care of them. Go to the website, AmazonFitMag.com, and subscribe. You do more, I can do more. And of course, shout out to the female bodybuilding channel, AJ and JD. Almost got a shout out. Anything you want to say before we leave?
We love AJ and JD and what they do. So yes.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you for everybody who's supporting the magazine, buying the magazines. Thank you also for the fans who are supporting women's bodybuilding. And follow us all on Instagram. My Instagram is Helle Trevino.
Gina Cavaliero.
Irene Anderson.
Appreciate it, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks again for talking to me, ladies.